Dear friends, prisoner's dilemma can be taken as the most important topic in realism. Under this topic, we are also discussing relative gains and cooperation. Anarchy and egoism vastly hinder cooperation. The prisoner's dilemma offers a standard formal representation of this logic. Imagine two criminals arrested separately by the police for questioning. Each is offered a favorable plea bargain in return for testimony against the other. If both of them don't confess, they can be convicted only of a lesser crime. Each must choose between cooperating and defecting. Cooperation here means remaining silent, and defection means bearing witness against the other. Imagine also that both have the following four preference ordering. Number 1, confess while the other remains silent. Number 2, both remain silent. Number 3, both confess. And number 4, remain silent while the other confesses. Assume finally that their dislike of risk takes a particular form. They want to minimize their maximum possible loss. Cooperating rewards both with their second choice. In simple words, remaining silent rewards them with conviction on the lesser charge. But it also leaves the cooperator vulnerable. The cooperator will be vulnerable to the worst possible outcome. Serving a long prison term and knowing that his partner put him there, it will be worst outcome for him. It will be a disaster for him. Each of the two can assure himself against disaster by confessing. Both know that they both could be better off by cooperating. Even then, the rational choice is to defect. The rational choice is to confess. Both end up with their third choice because this is the only way to assure that each avoids the worst possible outcome. So, they both confess. This way, both defect and don't cooperate with each other to avoid the worst possible scenario. Conflict here does not arise from any special defect in the actors. They are mildly selfish. They are not particularly evil or vicious. They do not desire conflict. Both actually prefer cooperation. They are neither ignorant nor ill-informed. In an environment of anarchy, even those capable of mastering their own desires for gain and glory are pushed by fear towards treating everyone else as an enemy. Anarchy can defeat even our best intentions, which realists see as rare enough to begin with. Even those who want to cooperate may remain locked in a vicious cycle of mutually destructive competition. When there are no insurance schemes that reduce the risk of cooperating, and when there are no procedures to determine how to divide the gains. For example, states may engage in costly and even counterproductive arms races because arms control agreements cannot be independently verified. Herbert Butterfield calls this Hobbesian fear. If you imagine yourself locked in a room with another person with whom you have often been on the most bitterly hostile terms in the past, and suppose that each of you has a pistol, you may find yourself in a predicament. Both of you would like to throw the pistol out of the window. But it defeats the intelligence to find a way of doing it. Who will throw the pistol first? No one. The security dilemma has a similar logic. Because of uncertainty about the intentions of others, security measures taken by one actor are seen by others as threatening. The others take steps to protect themselves. These steps are then interpreted by the first actor as confirming its initial hypothesis that the others are dangerous, and so on in a spiral of illusory fears and defenses. Relativity of power enhances anarchic pressures against cooperation, and relativity of power also increases anarchic pressures towards balancing. Power is control over outcomes. It is the ability to do something, the ability to effect something. It is less a matter of absolute capabilities than of relative capabilities. Absolute capabilities mean how much stuff one has. Facing an unarmed man, a tank is very powerful. But the same tank facing attack jets is not very powerful at all. So, power is relative. The relativity of power requires states to be more concerned with relative strength than with absolute advantage. Bandwagoning seeks absolute gains. Bandwagoning means aligning early with a rising power to gain a share of the profits of victory. Balancing pursues relative gains. Relative gains concerns dramatically impede cooperation. One must consider not only whether one gains, but more importantly, whether one's gains outweigh those of others. It is the logic of relative gains. In anarchy, the others must be seen as potential adversaries. Even predatory cooperation is problematic unless it maintains the relative capabilities of the cooperating parties. In fact, states may be satisfied with conflicts that leave them absolutely worse off so long as their adversaries are left even worse off. In the next session, we will discuss polarity.